how to restore factory dopamine default settings on your nervous system, part 2. So I've been taking 9-MBC for a whole week now, and it has been a bit of a dopamine roller coaster. Now, I don't believe that people that can regulate their dopaminergic system quite well benefit from some of these compounds the same as I do. Like, I gave my friend some Adderall. For me, a tiny microdose sends me flying. I'm an entirely different person. For him, he took the whole thing, nothing happened. I gave my friend Nupept. He tried it, nothing happened. For me, it was life-changing when I used it. So I think that people that have a dysregulated dopaminergic system could benefit from taking these compounds than others do. So let's get into it. We're 1 week in. What's been my experience? So, as we talked about in the first video, I didn't notice anything really positive during the first couple of days until I doubled the dose from 15 to 30 milligrams of 9-MBC per day. When I doubled the dose, I got a high. I got euphoric. I got driven, and I had that hard energy. Stuff was going crazy. And that's when I recorded the last video. I was flying from that dopamine hit from the 9-MBC. It was going off. Now, as the great Andrew Huberman says, when you have a dopamine peak, it is usually followed by a crash that is even larger than the peak. Now, when I doubled the dose of 9-MBC, I got slightly manic. Exercise felt easy. Effort felt easy. Completing tasks, getting things done with a real sense of urgency was just fun. It was easy to do. This was followed by quite a severe crash when suddenly completing these tasks became harder once again. Now, I wouldn't say that this crash is as extreme as it usually is. And I would say that the high was more extreme than it usually is. So we could say that from this very small sample size of 1 week of 9-MBC, my baseline seems to be rising. The highs are getting higher and the lows are getting higher. Could be good news. I still need to continue taking 9-MBC for a further week and a half minimum before I can get some of those hopefully permanent restoration gains to my dopaminergic system. So that conversion of tyrosine to L-dopa and ultimately dopamine in the brain. In the first video, I was complaining that my sleep was quite affected by 9-MBC. I am very happy to say that my sleep has been deep. I track my sleep using my watch, and I have been getting some pretty high scores recently, which is a massive improvement. I do take 5-HTP at nighttime, and the 5-HTP seems to be super effective. So yeah, for sleep, everything's doing good. For cognitive performance, everything is doing okay. I would say I went up super high, came down, and now I'm cruising higher baseline than I would normally be. Now, how's my erections doing? Because this was initially the whole reason why I started flirting with this compound. To give a very quick, brief backstory, I took Bromontane. My erection quality just went down. It went off a cliff. My sex drive went down, and it hasn't fully restored for prolonged periods of time since then. Now, I have two conflicting points of view. Vigorous Steve, he suggests that it is a dopamine desensitization, that I need to do some dopamine fasting, take the 9-MBC, and just lay off dopaminergic stimulus to give my dopaminergic system time to level out and, form a new baseline again. Now, I very briefly interacted with another YouTuber. I can't remember what his name is. I'm so sorry. Anyhow, he's an expert in nootropics. And from a very brief interaction, he hypothesized that it could be serotonin imbalance from dopamine causing the erectile dysfunction and the sex drive malfunction. Basically, I am taking the 5-HTP at night. I'm going to be moving over to another sleep supplement, which doesn't stimulate the serotonin system and instead works on the GABAergic system. But I ain't trying to use benzos because they give you dementia, so don't go there, yo. Anyhow, the erectile quality problems and the sex drive problems that I got from taking bromontane could be due to dopamine, it could be due to serotonin, or it could be due to another pathway which I haven't yet identified. Either way, I am going to get to the bottom of this and I'm going to sort it out one way or the other. Please, come along, join me for the adventure. Now, as I've said previously, I've only been taking 9 MBC consistently for 7 days. I got a massive dopamine spike, followed by a dopamine crash, and I don't think that's how this supplement is meant to work. Huberman, nootropics experts, they say that you want to avoid this sense of euphoria and elation because that's burning the candle too bright. And I went there, I got into a slightly manic state, and hey, who knows, maybe I'm just mentally unstable, and all of this won't affect you. Let's experiment further and find the answers to these questions. One point to note when experimenting with 9-MBC is it increases the photosensitivity of your skin. That means that your skin is more sensitive to UV light and it can cause DNA damage. That ain't good. That means that you want to stay covered up away from the sun. I've been putting on factor 50 in the end of April in the UK just to make sure I'm stopping my face from aging extra fast and I'm stopping myself from getting skin cancer because we ain't about that around here. So if you're taking 9-MBC, please be aware of the increased photosensitivity of your skin. Like I said at the start, I'm making this part 2 so quickly to show you how my views and opinions on 9-MBC can change quite rapidly. I can say that my overall experience with 9-MBC has been a positive one so far. So, for everybody that wants to find out more about nootropics and my experiments with them, for anyone that's interested in coaching for powerlifting, strength training, and general human optimization and performance, the Fate and I here for you. So stay tuned, and until next time, I'll catch you later. Peace!